So the concept of leadership is really on my mind lately. And not just because of the conversations I'm having with leaders, I'm thinking about my own leadership. I'm thinking about how important who and how we lead really is. Because leadership is ultimately a mirror, right? Who you put at the top of an organization or of a group is sending signals to everyone else of what we're trying to build and where we're trying to go. So there's entire industries devoted to this question of getting leadership right. You have headhunters and sort of executive recruitment firms who can place the high-level CEOs in organizations, but you also have executive MBA programs and various, leadership coaching and mentoring. You have all of these wraparound supports because the role of a leader is so critical to all of the things that follow in terms of the health of an organization. So we teach leadership like it's a skill you can master, right? You go to a program and you learn kind of the 5, dysfunctions of a team or all of the elements of what truly makes a great leader, steady hands and consistency, etc. But the truth of the matter is that our modern idea of leadership is a relic. It's actually a holdover from a totally different world, right? So early 1900s, Industrial Revolution, this is where the management theorists are in their heyday. You have Frederick Taylor and his scientific management. He kind of talks about work as breaking work down into constituent parts that you can optimize, that you can measure, that you can make repeatable, kind of like a machine, actually. You have Max Weber, who is describing bureaucracy. This is about hierarchy, rules, specialization. If you think about this kind of concept, governments and armies have been using it for centuries, but he's really codifying it and he's putting it in a workplace. You have Henry Fayol, who's describing the 5 functions of management. So this is the idea that leaders are planning, organizing, controlling, coordinating. And this is the blueprint for the modern organization. And these are the leadership skills, by and large, that we're teaching, the management theories that we're teaching. But we also know that change is constant, right? And one of the things that we're seeing right now hugely is that technology is evolving faster than policy. And the bit of attention that I am struggling with is that people who already have the skills that they need to be successful at their jobs, the people who are in leadership or near leadership positions, can use the technology really well because they know what to look for. For example, if I know what I'm looking for and I give a task to a junior employee, every single time that I'm sending it back, I'm helping them learn something. If I take that and decide that I can be faster with AI, with technology, I'm now working directly with the technology tool. And it's easier for me because I know exactly what I'm looking for. But what I'm not doing is helping the person who's coming behind me that I have a responsibility to help mentor and manage, because for some reason, I'm thinking that I should be doing it just directly over here by myself, faster and kind of more productive, right? Like that's the trap that you get caught in. And for the next generation of people who don't quite have the skills, it's maybe an opportunity, right? We're seeing the world completely differently, and maybe entrepreneurial mindset comes into here, or maybe they kind of figure it out in a way that does truly disrupt the way that we have been doing things. Or maybe they're just lost and disconnected. And so that leadership model is kind of broken right now, right? Like this idea that you are working with the next generation behind you to pass on the skills that you have learned and allow them to be able to build some of their own through your mentorship, whether it's good or bad. And that's sort of the paradox that I'm really thinking about right now. It's that The very thing, the very instincts that once made somebody a really, really strong leader, right? Consistency, experience, a savviness. Those things are now making leaderships really strong contributors again, like individual contributors again. So you're kind of breaking that whole leadership model up. And the paradox is that the very instincts, the very skills that once made somebody a really strong leader now make them a really great individual contributor again. And that idea of certainty and decisiveness and control that we once used to value in leadership is now really limiting in a world that's demanding adaptability. This is something that we talk about a lot at Magnet. It's this concept of adaptive human potential. It's the shift from managing the systems of work to modeling learning behavior, modeling adaptive human learning behavior in flow. The question that I'm really kind of thinking about right now is there a way that we can prepare leaders for a world that can't actually be managed the way that we think about it, that can really only be sensed? So the future will not reward leaders who know the most. I don't think that's a thing anymore. We have AI models who know more than we could ever know, really. I think it's going to reward the ones who are willing to adapt, who are learning the fastest, and more importantly, the ones who have figured out how to bring everybody else along with them.